Today marks the 1-year anniversary that I have been that I haven't been scheduled. I'll come back to that. So my last job was at a boba place in a mall, and it was a very conflicting time. Let me explain. The job itself was really fun. The people around me were really fun. And when we had each other and we just had the work and we got to just focus on the work, it was an amazing job. Are you kidding me? There were so many positives. I remember when they would schedule enough people on weekends when we'd have a rush of stupid amount of drinks, when we all got to like flow together and we'd be listening to music. It would work so well together. But here's the thing, y'all complain about nepo babies in acting, modeling, like the entertainment industry. Y'all are not paying attention to the nepo babies that are literally fucking us over from day to day. In this particular case, we had the owner's son. Their son was a piece of shit. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. He was so fucking weird. I'm gonna just give you some footnotes so you guys get an idea. He told my friend to walk for him during the interview. He said, okay, can you walk for me? He fired someone for using the wrong blender. But the thing is, he didn't fire them. He just stopped scheduling them and stopped texting them. Allegedly, one time he got mad at an employee and he called his mommy, the boss. He called his mommy over to yell at them, and like a whole bunch of people quit on the spot. But hey, I wasn't there for that. This is alleged. So he literally made us hate our jobs. He made us hate our jobs. Like 4 of us quit at the same time because we just hated him specifically. Like, had he not come back to our store, I would have probably still been working there. I'm sorry, pero estás bien pendejo. Today, I'm gonna talk about 5 weird ass things that happened at my last job. Hello, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Leslie, and before I started doing YouTube and traveling and actually enjoying my life, I had a regular job. Number 1. I don't know if this applies for everyone, but the way that our store worked was that you got hired, you had about like a week, 2 weeks to get trained. You had to memorize every single formula for every single drink, and you'd get quizzed on it. And I don't just mean quiz on it like, okay, how do you make this drink? No, I straight up mean like, here's a printed piece of paper and here's the drink name, and you're gonna have to write the formula down. And if you didn't get it right, they just make Fuchi face at you. And the way they had it set up was that after a few months, you would take what was called the barista test, where you'd have to make 2 drinks, an easy drink, a kind of difficult drink, and a hot drink in like 3 minutes, I think. And they would literally watch you do everything. And I kid you not, if your hand wasn't at the right angle of pouring, they'd knock you for it. Like, remember, I had been told about this exam from the very beginning because that's how you get your raise. I think it's like 50 cents or something like that, but that's how you got your raise. I started working there and I was paid, I think $15.50 was how much I started getting paid. But the advertisement said $16. It was advertised $16 to $18. We said, okay, so you start with $15.50, and once you take the barista test and you pass it, then you get to get like the other 50 cents. And I was just kind of like, okay. And they delayed it so much that I didn't actually get the barista test or whatever done. 1 year and 2 months later. So all that time, I wasn't getting paid for knowing how to do everything because they just would not give me the test. They push it back. And they also had like a written exam, which they got rid of, where they asked you things that they didn't even train you for. Originally, the test was conducted with everyone there. Let me explain. You needed to have the boss, her son, manager from location 1, manager from location 3, and this one guy that apparently he's also related to the managers, and they would just like move him around in different stores. That's like 6 people that need to like watch you as you make 3 teas, and you're on shift. There's customers. Like, weird thing number 2, the boss's son. Let's talk about him. When I first started working at this place at location 1, I remember I heard whispers about baby boss, and I was like, who is that? And one time when I was sealing drinks, this one guy walks in all like, hi guys, how are y'all doing? We started making drinks, and I remember when I was wiping the drinks under the table, and then we'd call out the numbers. The way that I was trained to do it was to only call out the numbers when I had all of the order ready, or I had one more like that I knew that was coming in. I can call and be like, number 3, number 4, right? This guy tells me, so the way that you want to do it is that you want to wipe these, and when you see that that one is about to be finished, you're gonna call it out. So let me start coming here, and like they can pick up their drinks and all of that. Do you want to know why? Oh, it's because then the customer is able to pick it up right when they get here, and it doesn't sit there for that long. And I'm just kind of like, okay, like, I see what you're going for, but they literally told me not to do that. And so for the rest of the time, he was just trying to get me to call it out before the drinks were ready. And I was like, bro, you're gonna throw me up. And so he made his drinks, he grabbed his straws, put them in the bag. He made like easily 6 drinks, and he left just like that, gone. And I didn't realize until way later that that was the boss's son, and he like would always do this shit. Sunday, nobody wanted to be scheduled on Sunday because Sunday was awful. Sunday would get so damn busy to the point where we had to turn off DoorDash and shit. Like, it was just so bad. And I remember one time, he'd always just show up and like float around and ask questions and like nitpick you if you did anything wrong. And this one time, he was just standing by the cash register, full sight of everyone, just standing by the cash register. I was making drinks, and our like receipt printer, anytime it would print a receipt, it'd start beeping and go beep, and then after like 30 seconds it started going beep, 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 and it wouldn't stop until you ripped it off. And I kid you not, later it was printed, this thing started beeping, and I looked at him while I was making the drinks, and he looks up from his phone, he's like, oh, I'm not on the clock. Looks back down and goes back down. And at first I was like, sure, valid, you're not on the clock. Totally valid. If you don't want to lift a finger, you don't gotta lift a finger. You're not on the clock. Holy shit. And then on the other hand, it's like, holy shit, I just wanted you to please rip the receipt. That's it. I'm not asking you to label cups. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm asking you to just please rip the receipt. And yet he'd have the audacity while we were working, we were backed up, we had so many labels with so many cups, he'd just walk over and he'd say, I want this latte, no sugar, no ice, and yeah, thank you. And you just walk away. And I would just be like, I'm like, the other station's open, why can't you make it for yourself? Thing number 3, our boss's kid was really insecure. He found out that we had a group chat without him, and it was called Taco Bell. Helped it fly under the radar for a very long time. But unfortunately, we had a coworker who let it slip that we have a group chat. And so he would just like walk by us and be like, oh, so you guys have a group chat? Do you guys like talk bad about me? And yeah, that's it. He found out we had a group chat, and we would not let him in. No matter how much he sighed, and we never let him into the group chat until finally one time he, like, I don't know what type of fucking constitutional amendment he passed. I don't know if he whined to his mommy and then his mommy told my manager, but apparently he had to be in our group chat now. So he told my manager, you need to introduce me. And so you know what she does? Sweetest person ever. I love her. I hold nothing she ever did against us because I knew it was coming from those piranhas. My manager goes, this joining our group chat is this person. He is the manager of this, this, and this, and he's gonna be joining our group chat, blah, 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 like this whole ass type of shit. After the smoke had cleared and all the pyrotechnics were done and the lights were dim, he said, hello guys, and nobody fucking answered. That chat died instantly. Fuck Taco Bell, by the way. He would see us chit-chatting with one of our coworkers while doing our job. You know what? A little disclaimer, I'm not just gonna sit here and toot my own horn, but like honestly, my coworkers and I, we did such a good fucking job. Actually, I met Christina at the job. Us two and these other 2 girls, we were the best at our jobs. We can literally be there alone, get an order of 30 plus drinks by ourselves, and we'd be able to handle that shit while also handling in-store orders. We'd be able to handle all of this. Keep it clean, keep it organized, keep it pushing. We'd be able to do that shit, but they would never appreciate our work. Never, never, never. Boss's kid, I need to give him a name. We're gonna call him Jack, because he's a jackass. Jack would actually never tell us anything. He would speak through other people. A slug has more of a backbone than this man. One time I find out that Jack does not like that Christina and I are talking while we're working. So you know what? I took the criticism. I was like, okay, fine. Maybe we talk too much. We'll dial it back. Cool. And then he tells us that he doesn't want us to create group chats outside of work because he doesn't want little factions being formed. Yeah, he just tried like dividing us and making sure that we didn't talk to each other on the low, which we all did. Number 4, if any bad reviews came into the store, they'd print it out and shame us. the bosses would print it out. They'd come tell our managers that they needed to scold us, and they would just like tape it to the front where the register was, so no customers could see it, but we can see it. And they just had it like there or in the back where the ice machine was. They just print it out, and the whole time they'd be telling us that we had to not do that, and how did this happen. They'd like interrogate everyone. They print it out and just slap it everywhere, and we're just like, what the fuck? And number 5, the biggest one, they pretty much robbed me for a good amount of time that I was there. So let me explain. Allegedly. You can say that this was all my fault because I didn't get any of this in writing, which I know. I was naive. I was a 17, 18-year-old working my first actual big girl job, so I didn't know this. But in the beginning, they told me that if I took the test, then I'd get a raise, and then like they were discussing raises and everything. They needed to train a new person to be the manager, make schedules, coordinate shipments, everything. But since, I kid you not, they were working this woman to the bone, they would take advantage of her every single chance they got. And unfortunately, my manager, I love her, but she would let them. And there'd be times where even I was like, bro, you need to stand up for yourself. This is not okay. She's like, she would literally look at Christina and she'd be like, please do not let them treat you this way. Do not give them anything. If you're not getting paid, you do not do it. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And that is something that stuck with me and Christina for the rest of our time there. We would not let them take an inch because we knew that they would end up taking a mile. So when she was leaving, they told me, hey, Leslie, how about you do schedules? And at first I was kind of like, I don't really know if I want to do this, because it's like more responsibility, and if I fuck up, like it's more pressure. But then eventually I thought, because then I know when I work, I know when I don't work, and I can move things around. So I was like, you know what, cool. And plus I'm gonna get paid more once they do the evaluation or whatever. So I started doing schedules September of 2021, September, October, like in those months. That's when I started doing schedules. I'd get all the schedules done Monday. I'd have the schedule for the whole week. Boom. We'd have it posted by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. Everyone had their schedule Monday through Sunday, and then I'd start working on next week. And I would be able to coordinate it and everything. But little by little, the boss's son started like intervening and saying, no, move this, no, move that. And you know what? Cool. He has more experience. He's able to better acclimate for different things. He thinks that maybe we need an extra person here, maybe we need an extra person there. Cool. But over time, they started cutting our hours so much. Then on weekends, we'd have like 4 people when we would need 5 or 6. Literally hit every single one of their conditions. All the hours they'd cut, I'd be able to optimize them as much as possible. And there was always a fucking problem. So they used every single minor detail to not evaluate me and to not give me the promotion, to not give me that extra $1 per hour. I would be here, I know I'm stupid, I know this now, but I'd be here working on the schedules. I'd be at my own laptop in my own home on my own time, working on schedules to get them done as fast as possible, because I know how fucking inconvenient it is to get your weekly schedule like on Friday, and then you have to rethink all of your plans. Like, it's fucking irritating, and it's very inconsiderate for other people's time. So I was so irritated by that. And my manager would always ask the boss's kid, because the bosses weren't running anything, they'd let their son run it for them. So my manager asked him, hey, are you gonna give Leslie her raise this month? And I'd be like, I don't think so. We would bust our ass every single day. We'd work so goddamn hard to the point of being just exhausted. I'd get home and I'd just be like, I can't handle this anymore. Like, I'm just so tired. And my manager texted me, and once again, like I said, this was not her doing. This was the owner's son telling her to tell us this. So they told us that if we weren't adjusting our attitude, whatever that means, because we'd be busting our asses anytime they needed us, like 30 minutes early, I was there. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I know now that they're gonna take advantage of me. They don't give a fuck. But at the moment, I didn't know that. At the moment, I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help the people that I worked with. And so they told us that if we don't adjust our attitude, they were gonna take the raise away and they were gonna start paying us less. And that is when I broke and I said, okay, that's it. I texted my manager and I said, you know what? I know that this is not personal. I know that it's not you saying this, but honestly, I can't take this anymore. I'm not gonna be able to fit this job in anymore. So this is my notice. I'm leaving on March something, and it was like January. So it was like 2 months in advance of me letting them know. And immediately I knew they freaked out because they tried negotiating with me through her to stay. They eventually negotiated to take scheduling responsibilities away from me, which I was so happy about, but it wasn't until May. So it was just 1 month where I did not do that. Because I had 2 managers. It was like the manager who was always there, which he was a dude, and then the manager who kind of handled everything, she was a woman. And so we had these 2 managers, and the one that was always in the store was a dude, so he'd be the one that I would always be chatting with and stuff. And so he was always trying to fight for me to get my actual fair pay. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. You and you know who. You guys are both the only reason I stayed at this job for so long, because I appreciated both of you. That's all I need to say about that. One time, Jai was all like, okay, I need to talk to you guys all. And so Christina and Danielle, by the way, Danielle is a really cool artist and she has an Etsy shop. Shout out, link in the description. This is some of her artwork. She's really cool. Go check her out. I hope you're doing good, girly. Miss ya. So us 3, we were like the main baristas. We were all scheduled to work together because Jack wanted to talk to all of us individually. He's sitting right here and his mom is sitting right next to him, and he starts telling me, so we need to organize a time where we can work on schedules together. At this point, he was telling me, so since you're leaving, like, we're gonna start training Christina to do schedules and you're gonna pass the responsibilities on to her. So we need to schedule like a time. So like, when can I call you? When is it okay for me to call you? And I just looked at him and I was like, Jack, if I'm not clocked in, you're not getting an answer from me. You can try calling me, but if you try calling me while I'm outside of work, I'm not gonna answer your phone number. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, so would it be cool if like I called you at your home and like we gave you some hours and I said if I'm not clocked in, I ain't doing shit. But we have like a time where like you come in maybe like an hour early and you just sit in the back with me and we do schedules. And I was like, I don't want to, but if this is a compromise that I have to make to maintain this running smoothly, fine. If I need to talk to you, I need to be getting paid. Flash forward to 2 weeks before we left, other co-workers had a spat with him because apparently he was like saying things to a new employee, like kind of just being an asshole. He usually gave really weird attention to some girls. Like he'd just always be around them, like trying to hang out with them and trying to be buddies with them, and they were just really uncomfortable and we would have to like pull them away from him. My co-workers told him to leave her alone and he got angry. And then she started making drinks and apparently she used the incorrect blender. It was just something he made up that day and he said, no, you need to use this blender. Something went down and she ended up getting like not really fired, but they stopped scheduling her. Jack didn't tell her this. Jack told other people to tell my coworker that if she wanted to get scheduled again, she needed to come to work, she needed to have a conversation with Jack, and then he would reschedule her. And we found out about it and we just stopped talking to him. He'd walk into the store, we just wouldn't fucking talk to him. No eye contact, no nothing. After I left, my manager was like, no, please come back. He was like, yeah, we'll reschedule you, like we'll make it work. And I was like, okay, of course I'm open to helping, but I'll be back in 2 months. After those 2 months, I'll be able to be rescheduled, like, because he didn't want me to quit. So when I came back from Korea the first time, I was like, okay, cool, like I'm open to go whenever. My availability is the same thing as it was. I can just go whenever, it doesn't matter. And he's like, okay, I'm waiting for Jack to text you. And I was like, oh, he hasn't texted me. And he ended up never fucking texting me. So technically I'm not unemployed, but I don't have a job because like they're not gonna reschedule me and I don't want to be rescheduled. Fuck that job. It was just a rant about my last job because it's my 1-year anniversary being free. There was also some really nice aspects about the job. Like I said, it was not all bad. It was actually a really wonderful experience. I met wonderful people. Hell, I met Christina through this job. And now we're going to Korea together. We've been to so many concerts together. We've had so much fun. Like, I met amazing people. And it was a fun experience to have. I have really fond memories. It was a fun job. But unfortunately, sometimes, like, things just happen. Personalities don't match. And it sucks. Like, I left on good terms with everyone except Jackass. That was like the only person that I was not in good terms. There was one time where Jackass like told on me to his mommy. Literally all I said was like, I don't want to go sit in the back, my break's about to end. And he literally cried to his mom, and like it was this whole thing where my managers had to ask me for my side of the situation because he like cried and whined to his mom, and his mom was bugging my managers that I was being an asshole, and all I said was, I don't want to sit in the back because my break is almost over. I have so many stories about that place, so if you guys want any stories about my old job, let me know. This video was actually really hard for me to film because I don't remember a lot from my job at the boba place. I just remember cashing the checks. Said the bitch with direct deposit. Overall, I'd say that I'm happy that I had the job. I mean, I was able to afford myself so many things, like 2 trips to Korea. I saw BTS 3 times. I went to Las Vegas to go see them. I was able to give myself the freedom that I wanted because of this job. So I'm very thankful for it, even though it did have its messy times. I'm very thankful that I had it. And if y'all want to hear any stories, both positive and suspect as fuck, let me know. Give me suggestions, and I'm totally, like, I'll accept my faults, like when I did something wrong, because I'm not a perfect person. Thank you so much for watching. This is the first time I've ever said that, but like maybe like subscribe or something, because I'm trying to turn this into my job. That's the truth. Like, yeah, I have fun making videos. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.